Hey, what's up, fam? A lot of fairy tale spin-offs have been put out there, and from what I understand and what I've been able to make up, most of them, pretty much all of them, are canon. I know Hiroshima himself has said as long as they don't contradict the main story, that they are canon, because anything else is just a dream Lucy's having. So this story, this Fairy Tale City here, which is a new spin-off, I'll put the link in the description if you want to go read it. It's either a dream or like a Elseworlds, like what if, like fun story. And normally when I got the idea of like, this whole thing of like they're all cops, it's like, okay, this could be fun, but I don't know how good it will be, especially when we have stuff like 100 Years Quest running and the Happy spinoff, which has been pretty entertaining. This was good. I really like this, and I'll get into reasons why as I'm going. So it kind of starts out. It starts out pretty much as you expect. There's some criminals. They're doing some shady stuff, and then uh, Natsu, Lucy, and Happy show up. They're magic police. They're the fairy tale team. I like the corporation, like bringing everything in and putting it in that style. And now we have like the Magnolia Police in Fiore City. I thought was pretty good. Makarov is he's like the police chief, the pissed off old grumpy police chief that's always getting all this shitty paperwork from his people. It's like there's a lot of funny things in there that work pretty well. And I thought that was pretty good, but he's got like this whole stack of papers, and it kind of reminded me of the beginning of Fairy Tale when he's got all the letters, and he talks about that how that's if he had to worry about it, kind of like it would be too much, and then he like burns all the papers sent from the council and talking about like, doing what you do. I'm trying to remember like the lines off the top of my head, but you know what I mean. But instead, Natsu sneezes, sets the whole thing on fire, and then they just kind of leave. You got little schoolgirl Wendy coming in talking about how Carla's been missing and she wants to file a report. And Natsu and Lucy are on the case, so they head out there, and not like and they're in their police car. Natsu's motion sick, of course, and then they find what instantly had me go, "Oh no, this is gonna end very oddly." Is they have Bora's Cafe, and if you remember, obviously Bora being the Chapter One villain who was like working in like I'm still assuming like sex slavery. Like he was capturing all these hot chicks and taking them to Bosco to sell them for slaves. We all know what those women were gonna where they were going, unless they somehow went to the Tower of Heaven or something like that, where it's like, no, we just want slaves for work. We know what these hot chicks were going for, but they have to go undercover. They end up going in, and they have almost have that Nalu scene that probably some fans are gonna get, where they almost kissed, and there's probably gonna be some salty people knowing that there was so close again, even in the Elseworlds, it doesn't happen on the spot. But going in there, this part going in like made me laugh, but rustled me a little bit because they go in. There's all these Exceed. You see like Nietzsche and I don't remember a bunch of the other Exceeds names, obviously other than like Happy and Carla, because for some reason Happy's there and Carla gets brought in. But I'm like, we have all these Exceeds existing in the fairy tale world, and we still haven't seen like any of them other than Nietzsche. Like, you'd think they would have been more valuable at some point within the series, at some point coming in and having more of an impact on the series, because we kind of know what they were doing, but we never really got much towards like the current status of their being. We never got like, hey, show the Exceed and like them being super useful by the end of things. And I really wish that was the case within the series. I wish that kind of had more of a feel. The only time we saw them is at the end with the Continental Fairy Sphere linked up with uh, Meridy's Sense Link. But like I said, it's weird seeing them. This is where like the next time we got all the Exceed was in a spin-off where they're all like spell controlled slaves working in a cafe, and then obviously Bora shows up. Bora being like shady every time he is like he makes his appearance. Even the only time he other really, I think you get like cameos of him, and he's still a weirdo. But Natsu goes one shots him, knocks him through that big like this big. It's like a giant cat toy that's like magically controlling the cats, and he ends up just like getting smashed, knocked out, and in the process, Natsu sets the place on fire. Lucy summons Virgo to create a hole for them to escape. They reunite Carla and Wendy, and then you get to see all the other people within the police force. Funny enough, you see like Gray, Urza, Levy, Kana, Elfman, and then Juvia, Panther Lily, and Gadgil. And there's a part that they show that they obviously had to cut one of the groups out because of that lineup, and that is once they're like talking about it, they're like, "Hey, we did stuff." It actually goes over and it shows the villains. Like we get the Arachion Seis, we get the Seven Kin of Purgatory with the Grimoire Heart, we get the Nine Kin and Tartars, which I was salty because I didn't get a panel of Marred Gear. Like how are they doing that without showing Marred Gear? Like, come on. You don't even have to show like the whole thing for them, but I like them to show up at least once. I am a Marred Gear fan. They even show all of Avatar. You don't need to have all of Avatar on there. Take that whole panel out and put in Marred Gear. And then this Brigand 12. And then you see Agnologia and Zeref. Zeref is like a criminal underworld like Kingpin, and Agnologia looks like he's like some super maximum security prison like locked up dude. I thought that was pretty entertaining. I like the idea that they're all like criminals. They're like just like city criminals. They're not like not like worlds like ending like super bad guys that are all up to something. They're just like criminals that are they're up to no good, trying to make trouble in your neighborhood. Yeah, and they had to take obviously they had to take out Phantom Lord and not put Phantom Lord in there because Juvia and Gadgil are already in the team. So good stuff. Funny opening chapter. Funny like definitely looking forward to more of this. I like this. I'm a fan of the series of this already. I've looked at the Rots for Chapter 2. It looks just as entertaining and funny. So look forward to that. I'm hoping though that we get some more like we get more spin-offs, but like some backstory stuff. Maybe a character gets more of its own like little series, like we got with that guy who did Road Knight, Twin Dragons, and Sabretooth, and then I remember I think the translation for the Laxus one is different, but I read it as Flash of Great Lightning. I think it's like Thunder Gods or something in the official translation, but whatever. So tell me what you think about this chapter. Comment below about it. Give a thumbs up to the video and subscribe if you liked it. I do mostly manga and anime stuff. And if you're subscribed already, thank you. I appreciate you all for listening.